Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, in one of his genius novels, the Icelandic Nobel Prize winner, the author Halldór Kiljan Laxness, had one of the main characters state the following, and I quote, "What you are entrusted with, you are untrusted with." End of quote. Here the author is referring to how one shall not fail in the duties one shoulders. To me, this short but magnificent sentence contains the core of the ideology of responsibility that every fishing nation must adopt and follow. The goal of the utilization of natural resources in the interest of the nation is first and foremost twofold. One, to handle the resources cautiously, and two, to utilize the resources in a manner that provides the best living standards possible. It may be said that in the debate on the utilization of natural resources, the concept sustainable utilization rooted itself long ago, both in respect of the natural resources on land and in the ocean. The concept sustainability does not mean that we should not utilize the natural resources. On the contrary, we are of the opinion that their sustainable utilization creates opportunity for the creation of valuables from natural resources that would otherwise not have yielded such valuables. Of course, this is a very ambitious goal, and it cannot be said that mankind has succeeded well in these matters. There are far too many instances of people overexploiting the natural resources and not utilizing them in an appropriate manner. A nation that has the fortune of having a natural resources and is able to utilize it in a beneficial manner has many opportunities. Unfortunately, we know of several instances of nations that are blessed with extensive natural resources, yet have not managed to utilize them in a manner that serves their interests or in a responsible and credible fashion, that will say in respect of renewable natural resources. The resources of a nation are not a guarantee for it faring well. At the beginning of the 20th century, Iceland was one of the poorest nations in Europe. We managed, however, to break the chains of poverty and to establish one of the most prosperous societies in the world. There were many interacting and contributing factors involved. However, one of the main reasons for this success is that the fishing industry became the driving force of the economy. The performance of the fishing industry totally determined the situation of the national economy. This did not happen by itself. Instead, through the sensible, moderate, and responsible utilization of marine resources. Of course, an essential part of the equation was Iceland gaining full control over its 200-mile economic zone. Considering that the fisheries have been the pillar of the Icelandic economy, the focal and an unavoidable point has been how it must be subject to the law of the economy and market conditions and not be the recipient of state subsidies. This is why the fishing industry has had to adjust itself to the competition it has always been in at the international market. I have become aware of that in various parts of the world, Iceland is regarded to some extent as a model in terms of utilization of natural resources of the sea. Of course, we take pride in such a praise. However, I wish to emphasize and underline that we can do much better in many respects, in fact, much better. I am not saying this out of my pure modesty, definitely not. It is my firm belief that the main reason, however, for us generally having tried to approach our utilization of the natural resources on grounds of long-term interest is simply that we have no other alternative. We do rely and have based our livelihood on the natural resources. This is why it has been clear to us right from the beginning that we must see their utilizations in a manner that enables us to hand them over to the coming generations in at least the same condition as it was when we received them. This is where our interests lie. It may therefore be said that we are driven by the interests entailed in carefully managing the natural resources, although there are, of course, different opinions how this can best be ensured. Obviously, there is much temptation to act differently in times and under circumstances where we are faced with several other options. In such times, the stakes may be less and occasionally results in people losing track of where they are heading. Of course, it goes without saying that in instances where the relative importance of the fishing industry in a society is less, people may focus less on the utilization of this natural resource. There is every reason to emphasize that the management and utilization of the marine resources are never an easy task, and many factors that must be included in the equation. In utilizing the marine resources in a sensible manner, we must remember that we are not tackling situations where all factors of the equation are known, far from it. This is a complex interaction of factors that in turn are affected by various things. We are not only talking about the utilization by mankind itself as being the only contributing factor. We must also understand the complex interaction in the ocean. This is why our answer is first and foremost entailed in increasing research and thereby casting a clearer light on the ecosystem here being addressed. Changes in the temperature of the sea, the changing utilization of individual fish stocks, just to mention a couple of examples, are deemed as playing a major role in terms of comprehending the status of individual fish stocks. It is quite clear, for example, that the growth of the whale stocks here at the North Atlantic has had a negative impact on the size of various fish stocks, and also that the whale is literally in direct competition with man regarding the utilization of the fish stocks. This is a classic example of the interaction between a predator and a prey. This is why we believe that utilizing the whale stocks is an unavoidable part of utilizing the natural resources of the ocean in the best and most feasible manner. In order to strengthen one fish stock, we must know how to utilize another one, which might be in competition for feed, or is perhaps the basis of the feed of the stock that we want to preserve and base our livelihood on. The classic example in Iceland is the interaction between capelin and cod. The capelin is the cod's most favorite and important feed, yet it is also an important commercial stock. We managed to manage our utilization of this stock in a manner that prevents us from jeopardizing the strengthening of the cod stock. This tells us how we must always focus on many factors in our utilization of the marine resources. This, however, can only be done through the best available knowledge and expertise. Marine research in Iceland is extensive, yet much more needs to be done. Over the years, we have emphasized increasing such research and calling for as varied views as possible from all aspects of science. We have furthermore sought the views of fishermen and fishing vessels operators, as I regard it as a prerequisite for us being able to arrive at a sensible conclusion, to hear the opinions of as many as possible, and to fuel the debate. Decisions derived from such a standing are not always easy ones, and in the short term, they may cause much difficulties, particularly for those who have the greatest interests to protect. Striking and ignoring knowledge, however, is not an option, in my opinion. In fact, it is totally unthinkable. We have no option but to base our actions on the best available knowledge, which we must seek with our scientists and those who possess the most experience, the fishermen and the fishing vessel operators.